Well, first off, I think congratulations are in order.
Thank you.
What was yesterday like for you?
I was born 2 days ago. We got home from Vegas at 5:30. I got to the hospital at 6, and he was born at 6:30. So pretty crazy 24 hours for me there. And my wife too, obviously, not knowing if I was going to be there. But it all worked out. It was kind of like out of a movie scene, honestly. But super blessed. Two healthy boys, another healthy boy. But yeah, just kind of soaking it in yesterday, enjoying it, and back to work now.
Well, congratulations first off, and then secondly, looking on that last game in Vegas, what did you guys take away from that game and then the road trip as a whole?
Vegas is a really good team. They didn't give us much. We didn't get much ourselves, but we, you had a winning road trip. Anytime you have more points than games on the road, I think that usually makes for a pretty good trip, and we liked a lot of it. And we just got to carry that back into home ice. We're at home for a while, especially when you're on the road that long. You set yourself up for a nice homestand if you play well on the road. So just going to try to stack some wins here and keep playing our game.
You checked throughout pretty much the entire trip. How important was that to see, especially on the road?
What did you say? Sorry.
The way you guys checked.
I thought we defended well. You look at some road games or some games where maybe we got a little bit loose at times and this and that, but I thought we defended the right way basically. The whole trip. Vegas only gets one. Like I said, they didn't give us much, but we didn't give them a ton either. Goaltending's been good. We've been limiting off the rush. Definitely cleaning up some things that we've worked on the last month or so. So it's nice to see that all coming together.
How's the sleep schedule?
Rough to start, but I was in a guest bedroom last night, so that was nice.
Thanks, Al.
Todd, is Kane good to go tonight?
He is.
And Talbot starting?
Talbot is.
Okay. Just your decision to put Johansson there at the point on the second power play unit. What do you want to see from him there?
Well, not just Albert going there. It's moving a couple pieces around. Axe has a real good shot. He's played off that flank over in Sweden. And that unit doesn't get that many minutes, so simplifying some things, getting them to think about shooting the puck maybe a little bit more. So it's not necessarily about Albert or Axe, it's about the whole unit together.
When you have a team that has such drastic home and road splits, how do you sort of prepare for that in the two different versions that you've seen so far?
Well, we started at home. We had what we believed was going to be a real tough schedule, and it was that. We handled it well, and then I think this road trip was good for us to get away and teams always say bond and do all that type of stuff. It's always good when you win more than you lose, which we were capable, or which we did do. Now we come home, and I think yesterday I talked about that return to Detroit or to LA or Edmonton or San Jose when I was there. Everybody talks about getting your game going again and coming back from a long road trip, and it's usually talked a lot about it. Usually talk about it a lot more when you're not playing well. It becomes an excuse. If you have a great game, nobody even mentions it. So I think it's exactly that, an excuse. And now we got to get our game going at home again and find it quickly. Find your game as an individual. Find your lines game. Find the power play game, the penalty kill game. Find it quickly and build on it.
What made you want to put Seider and Edvinsson back together?
Just a little bit of just like the forward lines, things can get stale. They have played together in the past and they have produced. I think Simon's game has improved since going with Mo, which is a real good thing. Benny's capable of dealing with Axe as a young player. He's been there himself many years ago, and he communicates real well. So there was comfort in that. And our third pair with Albert and Hammer has been real solid in my opinion. It's been real steady, and if we can continue to get the play out of those two, then great. And Doc is sitting there waiting to go again, so we feel comfortable with all of it.
And then I know you've talked in the past about seeing some of the players who have played here before walking around kind of at a different level this weekend. What kind of impact do you think that has on your locker room?
Well, you can feel it already. Hank, or Zetterberg, Samuelson, Erickson, Lidstrom, I think they all just walked through. I had a good visit with them this morning. Now they're walking around, and Dylan Larkin's used to seeing them, but Emmett Finney is he's asking questions. Who's that guy? When did he play here? I'm sure he's doing that. I would think he is. And that's always a healthy thing when you've got alumni around that have won and have meant so much to the organization and are willing to come back and give their time again. It's a pretty special thing.
You spent a good amount of time around Jonathan Quick in LA. I'm just curious, what stood out most about him when you were around him?
His competitiveness, the fire that he has to play the game. I'm sure you've seen it there. Like, he puts the pads on, and instantly it goes to compete, and no one's going to beat me. And teams, management, coach, even players sometimes talk about players that drag you into the game. They rarely talk about goaltenders doing that, but Quickie can do that. He can pull you into a game just through his fire, his competitiveness, his drive, sometimes his scowl. But it was really appreciated in all those years in LA, and obviously he's having an impact with the Rangers now.
Todd, the Rangers have had a considerable amount of turnover with players on the ice, a new coach behind the bench. When you look at film, how are they coming and approaching the game differently from your vantage point?
I think they're a really good hockey club. They don't give up anything, really, when you look at it, and when they do, their goaltenders are there bailing them out. So it's a tough team to score against. I do believe that they're going to score goals eventually, and they're going to score a lot of goals, so that makes it really tough to play against this team. But Sully and his staff have done a real good job. You can see them taking on some of his tendencies or personalities maybe as a head coach, and the players seem to have been buying into it. But they're the best team on the road in the league so far, and they'll figure out their home game. So they're a dangerous club.
Back to Emmett Finney. It's been a couple of games now without a point for him, but what is the biggest key to maybe not having a player like him get too far down on himself after such a fast start?
Well, he better not be getting down on himself at all, because if you're just looking at the stat sheet and evaluating your play, that's a really slippery slope to go on. We were just talking about it on the road trip. There were times, if he gave the third assist away, he'd have a bundle of them because he was in on the forecheck. He created turnovers. He was responsible defensively that led to something else. You're a 20-year-old rookie in the league. You're not going to get 2 points every night. Nobody does that, even as veterans. So don't evaluate yourself on that. If we don't feel it's going well, we'll sit him down and discuss things with him, and we haven't really even had to do that yet. So his confidence level should stay the way it is, and I would tell him to keep his nose out of the stat sheet. It's not that important when it's all said and done. Keep doing what you're doing.
And then a few minutes ago, Axe said that one of his biggest adjustments is adjusting to the speed of the NHL. How have you appreciated his overall play, and what do you feel his biggest what the biggest adjustment he still maybe needs to make would be?
He gave you the answer that in my opinion, he should give you. Because there is the pace of the play. The pace with the puck has been really good. He makes some real good plays, but the play away, when he's away from the play or something's going to happen, he's got to get used to that pace of reading and reacting a little bit quicker. It's got better from where it was in exhibition season, so he's improving. It's just the league's improving with him at the same time. But he's hard on himself, but he's also a real good self-evaluator. So the answer he gave you is a pretty accurate one. Okay.